In this video, we're going to talk about scheduling and calendar management. Everybody knows what a calendar is, and everybody all has the same amount of time in the day. It's really how you can utilize your time and how you prioritize your time that makes the difference. So thinking about back with the previous video where we talked about your 411, the way to set up your calendar is you're going to, again, use the same mindset with that. You're going to think of your big rocks that you have, your big things that you must do. Those items get put on your calendar first. Personal tidbit for me, I recommend doing your personal items first and then adding your business items on your calendar, because it gets back to the same philosophy of you're funding your life. And if you're only working and working and working, what are you really doing? So the way that that's going to look, and I'm going to show you on my calendar, I'm actually going to go to next week on my calendar. So as you can see, I've got filled in things that I could not move. So there are family activities, commitments that I have to friends and community organizations. Those are all on here first. And then I also have other meetings that are appointments that I cannot miss. Like I've got to meet at the team meeting. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to use my 411 tool. So remember in that tool when we looked at it and we said, okay, Lisa, you need to do 100 contacts this week. And I broke it down to that is 20 contacts a day. So knowing that, on average, that's going to take me about 2 to 3 hours to do. So what I'm then going to do is looking at my calendar right now, I'm going to find those 2 to 3 hour blocks and I'm going to plug them in, and it's called a time block. I'm going to put that in my schedule. So I'm just going to click on my schedule. I use Google Calendar just because it's simple. And I'm going to save that schedule time for lead generation. I'm going to put that on there. So I'm going to expand that just to be that 2 hour block. So I've got that 2 hour block, and I'm going to continue to do that over and over again so that I've got everything filled. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the other goals on my 411 and find those other activities that I have committed to myself to complete and put them on my calendar. With your calendar, the most important thing with your management is the accountability to yourself of completing the tasks that no one else is participating with you in. Your lead generation, that is an appointment with yourself. Yes, you could wake up one day and say, hey, I want to go to the park and go for a run, or I want to go hang out with my friends and have a long lunch in the middle of the day. If I have my lead generation going to 11:30 that day, I can do that at noon. And when you have clarity and you take the time to set up your calendar and you have the practice of checking it daily to make sure that you're following it, your business will just explode. Life happens. Like, we can all agree that there are times in real estate where it's not brain surgery, yet there are important, urgent, emergency type situations that happen. You've got an inspection notice that has to be negotiated before midnight this day. You need to make sure that you have white space built into your schedule in order to take care of those things that happen. Also paying attention to your energy levels throughout the day. And if you notice as you're completing your schedule that you're avoiding certain tasks on your schedule, try tweaking your schedule a little bit and moving those things to earlier in the day when you have more energy or after an activity that gives you more energy. When life happens and you get off track on your schedule, you have 100% control of your schedule to be able to say, all right, today was a wash. I was able to keep this client under contract, so woohoo, there's a win for that. And I get to look at reorganizing my schedule for the next day. When you have a relationship with your calendar and knowing that if things need to be moved and situated, you can do that. It can be fluid. It doesn't have to be 100% rigid. The most important thing, though, is having the discipline to sticking with when you say you are going to commit to do something, that you actually do it. When those days happen and it's a hot mess of a day, give yourself some grace and know that you have a whole week to accomplish those goals of what you need to do. And your calendar is fluid, that you can change things around. Be aware. There is a definite awareness that comes with your calendar of knowing when you move something, you need to replace it somewhere else on your calendar. What that could look like is if you decide to go have lunch with friends, like we were talking about, and that was during your lead generation time, then you need to add a second lead generation time to that next day. And you have complete control over how to do that and what that looks like. Also, this is a practice that you're learning. So remember that this is going to take time to get better at as you go. This wraps up week 3, focusing on agents and all of the systems that you need to set up your business. Next week, you're going to work with Jeremy on learning a little bit more on the operations side of things.